Squirrel, here with a quick disclaimer. This podcast contains explicit content and parental discretion is advised. So no bitching if you fucking get offended by anything. Thank you. Thank you very much. Aloha, it's your main squirrel girl. Sorry I won't be a part of this podcast. I feel like sunbaked chalk turd and I'm having hot flashes. So, yeah, you don't want to hear it. I'm going to go back to bed now. Aloha.
Is it waiting for me to say something? It is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Squirrel Tangent. As you just heard, our bratty girl, the main squirrel girl, is not going to be with us this evening. She is feeling a little bit under the weather and can't be joining us. We will try to be as entertaining as we are with her, but she really does complete our little trio here.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not getting the Squirrel Tangent. You're getting the Sausage Fest. So along with that.
That being said, crack a beer.
Crack a beer.
I tap my microphone there.
Yeah,
But
I'm drinking a green juice, so have some kale if you're a woke man, but this is still the Sausage Fest crowd here, right?
Well, okay. If I'm being honest, I'm not drinking a beer either. It's a seltzer water that's got mandarin orange flavor to it. It just sounded better when I said
we're not alpha males, man. We're not alphas. Did you know that's a thing that people are doing now, by the way? Just talking about being alphas, like referring to themselves as alphas.
Yeah, I think if you have to refer to yourself as an alpha, you're probably not an alpha.
Negated from the group. I don't know. That's just a thing.
I don't know. I would think that if you have to refer to yourself as an alpha, you're not an alpha.
It's like anything. We're just it blows my mind that dudes are so insecure about every part of living.
Yeah. So, but anyways, welcome to the Squirrel Tangent, where somehow we got on alpha males.
We're just going where the wind takes us, man.
Well, yeah, and I'm the exact opposite of an alpha male. I am a nerd by nature.
Yeah.
So,
but nerds.
I was the one that got picked on in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, and then but now you can come back and you can destroy all of them at podcasts, and that is the real thing.
True. But you know what? Most of the people in high school, I didn't really have any really bad characters in high school that I knew of.
Yeah.
You know, there was a few that were typical jocks. There was a few of the popular girls that I stood zero chance with. But nobody was an outright dick to me.
And I feel like that's how most of life is, to be honest with you, where most people are going to be indifferent to you. And that's actually okay. It takes the pressure off. Like, people won't remember you very much. Unless you really piss them off or you really make them love you. And you have to fulfill one of those categories. Especially in high school, nobody gives a fuck about you. They're too worried about themselves.
Well, okay. So, fun story about high school for me. Growing up in a military family, I changed schools a lot. And when I went to my last high school in Rota, Spain, my very first day in class, one of the popular girls, because at the time I had spiked hair.
Did you really?
I did.
You were on your full length pass? Who did you look like at the time? What kind of spikes do we have going on?
I was, oh God. I was somewhere between Billy Idol and Vanilla Ice. It was pretty bad. I mean, I looked at it and
I wish I knew how to Photoshop.
And actually, my senior picture was even worse. I had a fucking mullet. It was
Oh
bad.
man.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. So what did
And,
this girl do to Billy Idol?
and
Hey, little
I'm
kid,
looking
ready
now
for
at
you,
it
what
going.
have you done?
It was just embarrassing.
Mm, mm.
At least then I had hair though.
Yeah, yeah.
Now it's all flooding onto my face.
It is so funny how the the hair doesn't as you start to get older, the hair leaves the back of your head, but it finds its way to your ear, where you just never need it anymore of it. But that's where it shows up.
Right, right. You get this bush growing out of your freaking ear or your
Yeah.
nose, and
Well, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? Who am I seducing with that?
it's like, yeah, don't you find my nose hair sexy, baby?
Yeah,
Come look at him. Take a
I
good
thought
close look.
I thought evolution was supposed to be smart. What the hell is that shit? What am I supposed to do with that?
And I'm sure everybody just heard our lovely Mama T. She was talking to the microphone. She heard her boyfriend's voice.
Yes, yes, and I'm coming to you soon enough. This week did not work out for me, but we will get in person.
Yeah.
We will have tangents together, collective.
But so yeah, high school for me, I was a bit of a geek. I was made fun of a lot, but hey, it was high school,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And my cat for some reason is finding the microphone amazingly interesting. Oh, interest gone. Typical cat. Typical cat. I'm interested in it and I'm done.
How irre- how irreplaceable is Brandy ultimately if Ma Petite could be a member? Because I mean, we could get a different species perspective, and that's very valuable.
But anywho, let's go because, ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know, this is and you didn't know until I'm saying no. This is actually our second attempt at doing this
This it
because
is.
um, since Josh can't be with us in person and Brandy is not feeling well, it is just he and I on Skype.
Yeah, figuring out how to talk to each other on the internet, which is its own adventure.
That part's not even really that difficult, but we were trying to do it on a phone, and the
Yeah,
phone was cutting in and out. He was
yeah,
losing connection, and so yeah, it sucked.
yeah.
But
But
I
this
think
is
we
going
ironed
to
it all
be
out. He seems to be coming through clear.
yeah. This is Smithsonian level quality right now. So I think we're set.
But that being said, we'll go back into what we were trying to discuss in broken loss of vocals, bad connection, town earlier, um, where we of course touch on the craziness that is Vegas.
So, yes, oh yes.
So
Vegas in its infinite craziness, and I tell me more about your ethnicity because I'm very fascinated by this story.
okay, because being a bus driver, I see everything. Being a bus driver on the Vegas Strip, I see even more. Like nothing surprises me anymore. I've already told people before that, you know, I've seen so much stuff on the street in Vegas that I'm not even surprised by Roadhead anymore. I look over and oh look, there's somebody getting a blowjob. Yay. You know?
You're not surprised by Roadhead.
Not at all.
I've never caught Roadhead.
I probably in the 2 years I've been driving a bus, I've probably seen it 20 times.
Jeez. Where do I need to
On,
go?
on the Vegas Strip. You just
Just
need to be
on the
high enough
Vegas
up to
Strip.
see in somebody's car.
Are these in parking lots? Are these oh see, there we go. I'm sitting
It's
on top of the double decker in perpetuity now.
oh yeah. I pull up next to a car, dude, and I'm looking straight down in. I don't just see the person in the passenger seat. I mean, I can see all the way across because
Wow.
I'm at a higher angle.
Yeah.
So next time you're riding the bus on the strip, look into the cars next to you. You'd be surprised. You might see some shit.
Do you think that they all think they're very clever right now? And wow, it's unbelievable.
I think it ranks right up there with the what happens in Vegas is in Vegas
Yeah. Yep.
misnomer
Yeah.
because it's incredibly not that. I mean, not anymore, not with the advent of camera phones
Not
and
at all.
live streaming and us.
Yeah.
You know, what happens in Vegas stays on Facebook and Twitter and
Yep.
Instagram and uh,
Yep.
now iTunes and you know Spotify.
Yep. And I guess it's the one place in America where 49 of the 50 states think they can come here and kind of live in an alternate reality. Save for maybe Hawaii.
Oh, right, right.
Where,
And
where
and speaking of Hawaii, I do need a quick tangent myself because I got to give a shout out to my buddy Chris.
mm,
He is our first, our one, and our only Patreon supporter at this point in time. Um, and he is actually at the winter stash level, which means he's giving us $5 a month. Not a lot, but that entitles him to bonus content, which we still haven't figured out what we're going to be doing. So, Chris, if you're listening to this, let us know
give
what
us
you'd like to hear in bonus content. Um, Obviously, being a Patreon supporter is not required. Um, we simply appreciate it, and what money we do get off of there will be used to get better sound equipment so we can make this podcast a much, much better thing for you and possibly do other podcasts.
yep.
Um, so shout out to Chris, longtime buddy of mine. I actually DJ'd his wedding. It was a blast. Um, Thanks a bunch.
Cause and we could do we'll always have the main podcast, of course, but there are a variety of interests, and I like sports,
Absolutely,
for
absolutely.
example, and I don't think many
Like
people like to listen to me talk about the 1-0 Green Bay Packers. I don't think that would tickle her fancy, but there are a
well,
lot
maybe
of
you
things we
could
can
have.
cover.
You know, I'm more than happy to lend you time on my microphone to set up and record your podcast
We
with a
could
buddy of
wrap on
yours if
that.
you want to do that.
Could wrap on that. Be great.
Um, but back to Vegas. So I'm driving and I pull up to a bus stop and a guy almost gets himself hit because he jumps off the curb, flipping me the bird, and literally like 5 feet from my bumper. I mean, let me tell you, that's one of the scariest things with being a bus driver because I'm
Mm.
driving a several thousand-pound vehicle that cannot stop anywhere near as quick as a car or a bike.
And if you hit somebody, is it just an instant fire, or even if you're not guilty, are you still going to be punished in some way?
No, if I hit somebody and it is deemed not my fault, it's called a
Yeah.
non-preventable accident,
Yeah,
which I don't get any negative mark at all.
that's good. But
So
yeah,
there's that. But it, even if it's a non-preventable, I'm still looking at the fact that I could have hit somebody, and that's a
yeah.
scary, scary thing.
That's mentally, that would be a little crazy.
Mentally, that would that would hurt me.
Yeah.
Um, but it doesn't end with the guy flipping me the bird.
Mm.
So I pull up, I open my doors because passengers are getting out the back door. Some passengers are getting in the front door. Only supposed to get in the front door. Pretty much anybody that's ever ridden a bus knows you get in the front door for the bus. And this guy decides he's going to jump out of the back door. All right, no problem. I've dealt with it before.
Yeah. Or
Get
were
on my
there any
microphone
paper
up
bags in his
front.
hand?
Yeah, it happens a million times a day where somebody thinks they're smart and they can sneak onto the back door.
Yeah.
And so I get on the microphone in the front. To the gentleman that jumped on in the back door, it is a front door loading only. Please come up to the front door and show your proof of pass.
Like your overhead voice?
Yeah, just to be nice. You know, I'm like, dude, you need to come up to the front so I can see your pass. Now, for those that have never seen me, I am a 6'2" bearded, white tattooed dude.
Now, at could you maybe pass for mixed in like a perfect world?
I'm Irish and Russian.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm about as white as they get.
Yeah. I'm trying to give you like a little benefit, and still, I think you're very white.
Yeah, I'm a honky,
Yeah, worth
and
mentioning.
now there are words that honkies are simply not allowed to say. White people are
Yes.
simply not allowed to say unless
Yes.
you're Eminem or somebody that has somehow magically made it into the realm of being allowed to say the N word.
Yeah.
I'm not,
No. God no.
not at all.
Yeah.
And Josh is a black guy, and he's telling me I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
D-
although I
de-
would probably be surprised to hear Josh say that word.
yeah. Not even something I would drop on very much.
But this guy, he jumps on the back door, and I tell him, hey, you need to come up with the pass. He gets up and starts yelling at me, calling me a fucking racist N word
He called you.
right in front of everybody, and like at the top volume, like the whole bus can hear this guy. He does get off the bus. I'm like, shut the door quick, and and then he starts pounding on my door as I'm driving off. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, how do you get that crazy?
I feel like you should have let him back on the bus. I want to hear more of his thought process. He called you what?
I don't know where he could have come up with it.
Does he know something about your history that you don't?
Not at all. Not
Has he
that
traced your genealogy? Are you sure it was Ireland? Are you sure it wasn't Nigeria?
And the worst part is I actually had a black gentleman on my bus, an African American gentleman on my bus.
Yeah.
He comes up to me after I pull away. He's like,
You ain't black, man.
yeah. And he's like, dude, the bus driver ain't black. I'm like, yeah, last time I checked, I'm not black.
Well, I see. I'm glad you didn't. Well, I'd be like, well, I mean, I can drop a few beats here and there. I have similarities to the culture, like I represent. But no, yeah, it's that's Vegas for you. That's
Yeah.
Vegas for you. I saw something not on the strip, but what you get with the strip is easily accessible alcohol, and that affects the locals as well. And I saw two ladies fighting at the 99-cent store over a cart.
But there's plenty of cards.
There's plenty of carts. There are just plenty of carts. And on that same trip, I heard a dude walking around by himself, and he was dropping some N bombs too. So it's just You're getting all sorts of ne'er-do-wells out here.
Yeah. Vegas is a place where you get a lot of strangeness.
Yeah.
People come here and they get in a downward spiral, and they come here and they gamble and they lose all their money, and because they lose all their money, they get depressed and they get into alcohol, they get into drugs, and
Yeah.
and we see it.
Yep.
We see it a lot.
Yep.
Oh, gee, I am speaking with your boyfriend, okay? She is like walking back and forth and headbutting me.
Well, I'm ASMR for her. You have to understand.
Yeah.
I just whisper a lot of catnip videos. Like, but like Reiki catnip. Like,
uh,
I'm healing your chakras. I'm gonna give you this bit of catnip. It's gonna take away. It's gonna heal your this chakra and that and so on and so forth.
you get my kitty stoned.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
But so yeah, that's the level of crazy that we see driving the strip. But I mean, there's even the like people on the strip. They don't behave like they would back home.
Not at all. Not at all.
I mean, 2 days ago, there's a lowrider show in town, and this guy's got a beautiful vehicle, and he's showing off his switches. He's got it on wheels. He's cruising, got the sounds blasting out of his car. And this lady in the car in front of him leans out of the freaking car and lifts up her shirt and flashes everything she's got at him
Wow.
in traffic.
Wow.
This is like a daily thing.
This is just on your trip to the strip.
This is just me driving a bus, a double-decker bus.
Wow.
I see something of that sort almost every day.
Again, and that's
It's like amateur porn hour on the strip. It's great.
can't do that shit in Kansas.
It's not that they can't do that shit in Kansas. They simply don't.
They simply do. Yeah.
They've got that goody two shoes girl that's got her straight A's and great grades and goes to church every Sunday. She comes here and then woo, out come the girls and the titties is flashing and
Yeah.
can't even remember the whole week. It's just what happens.
Yeah.
What happens in Vegas now stays everywhere on the internet, becomes viral.
Well,
And
that's
gotta
the
live with it.
thing too. It's that people. It's funny. I as it becomes more corporate, I wonder if we'll still always have that sort of feel to it.
I don't think, well, as long as we have Fremont, I think we'll always have a little bit of it.
Retain some of that same culture.
Yeah, because um, the main strip anymore has become just like this rich person's playground.
Oh yeah.
It is Louis Vuitton stores and Gucci stores
Yep.
and Dolce and Gabbana and
Yep.
and I know way too many high fashion names, but
Yep.
but they're everywhere. Like I can't even afford to walk in those stores, let alone actually buy something.
Oh God, no. And I don't think most of the people who come out here can.
I don't think so either.
I think we're kind of holding on to a foreign.
Right. And I still get baffled by how much some of those things cost though. Like
Yeah.
you get a $5,000 purse.
Oh yeah. I've
Well,
always thought that I should get into the first business because there's no less like for what you're actually putting out there. Just to why do we know Louis Vuitton's name? What the fuck did Louis Vuitton ever do? What's so special about his bags?
uh, dude, seriously, I don't know. I mean, it's $20 worth of leather
Yeah,
with, okay, maybe if they were hand stitched, 10 hours worth of stitching on each bag.
yeah,
So I could see a couple $100,
yeah.
maybe
Did you pay that person $1,000 an hour
if,
to stitch you some leather?
if it's hand stitched.
Yeah,
But at $5,000, that shit better massage my dick when I put my hand in to reach money.
and and even then, at that point, you're better off getting a $1.99 muffin to massage your dick.
So
Than
that's
for
like
you to
$5,000. I can get a high priced prostitute and get a really good job.
yeah, yeah, without a doubt.
You know,
Without a doubt.
it's just ugh. High fashion just disgusts me. I'm looking at like, okay, you go into any of those high fashion stores and you can buy a T-shirt
Yeah,
for over $100.
yeah. Or like your Kanye West will sell a T-shirt for like $500.
It's a
And
T-shirt.
yeah,
It
and that's the
is,
sort of shit we have on the strip now.
it is the same material.
Yeah,
It's the same workmanship as that Hanes T-shirt that you put on under your fucking work shirt.
yeah. And just because it has Harry Winston's name on it doesn't mean that you fucking got
Is
much
Harry
of
Winston a thing?
yeah.
Oh, okay. That's one I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's a name I only know. I've seen a lot of jewelry outside that homie's location.
Oh,
And again, Harry Winston, for all I know, I thought he was a side character in fucking Harry Potter that I forgot about. Like it's
hey,
ridiculous,
hey,
ridiculous.
don't
There's
dog my
nothing
fire.
special about him that should lead him to be able to sell such high fashion shit. But
In fact, honestly, I got to give credit because one of the things that actually encouraged me to want to go back into doing podcasts is I found a podcast called Potterless,
mm,
and and it was just thoroughly amusing. This guy goes over. He starts off when he's like 23, 24 years old, having never read a single Harry Potter book, and this podcast is him analyzing, critiquing the entire Harry Potter series chapter by chapter.
wow.
And he's not an English major or anything like that. He just has a whole bunch of friends that love Harry Potter, and he never got into it.
Mm,
So it becomes amusing. Hence, actually, the inspiration for why I'm the other podcast that you and I were talking about.
yeah,
Um, except this would be a fan with an English major.
yeah.
Be really interesting to hear an English major's perception of a
Take
series of
something
books.
versus your standard.
Your average Joe Schmo that just never got into a series.
Yeah,
And but so yeah, Vegas, the main Vegas strip, way overpriced. I mean, dude, you go to a bar there. I mean, how much is a rum and coke in the hotel you work at?
we're talking $15, $17, and it's like in mine it's got to be 11. Got to be
That's just
11. It's
ridiculous.
not going to be any quality.
Yeah, no, that's like your average like Captain and Coke.
Yeah,
Not even top shelf. That's like middle shelf.
yeah.
A Jack and Coke, same price.
The bubble will burst on that eventually. You can't just keep doing that to people.
Uh, as long as people will pay for it.
Yeah, yeah, but
So, yeah, there's that.
there's
Like,
that.
beyond Vegas, I have found an endless source of amusement for me is finding insane, crazy Floridians.
What do we have from What do we have from our brothers today?
Today, I found a guy that during that last massive hurricane that hit Florida, not the one that's been creeping towards Florida now, but the last one that actually hit.
And it's telling, by the way, that we can't even keep them all together. I think there's one every 3 days.
Oh, right. And this one, it was a Category 5 hurricane. This is the one that destroyed Puerto Rico that they're still freaking recovering from.
So
And
to clarify, this is a Category 5 hurricane.
yes,
I've never
Category
heard
5
of these
hurricane.
things. I thought that it only went to Category 4.
No, this is a
Okay,
Cat
so
5.
it was me and the president thought this, and now that Category 5 is a thing.
Yes, well, our president, our dear number 45,
Yeah,
apparently, he knows more than the weatherman.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Alabama's at risk right now.
Alabama is at risk.
Yeah,
Anyway.
he tried that one.
So what did this Florida individual do to celebrate his?
And this one actually to me brings up a whole nother class of stupid human that's not restricted to Florida. This guy went out in a Category 5 with a flag and started headbanging outside during a Category 5 hurricane.
You mean like Metallica, like headbanging?
Yes. He's got like long hair to do it right too.
Yeah. This is the attention for America. To clarify, this is attention, idiot.
I mean, okay, so I gotta look this up. Category 5 wind speeds.
It got to be much too quick to headbang, but
Category 5 hurricane wind speed. There it is. To be classified as a hurricane or a tropical cyclone must have 1 minute maximum sustained winds of at least 74 miles an hour. That's Category 1. Category 5 consists of storms with sustained winds over 156 miles per hour.
156 miles per hour.
And this dude, and he went viral for it. You can look it up. The article I found was Florida man goes viral for, let me look at the exact title. Meet Lane Pittman, viral Florida guy who headbanged through Category 5 hurricane.
And just think of how happy Sammy Hagar was for 55. Take my license. I can't drive 55. This gentleman is out in a Category 5. 150 miles an hour.
Like to put that in perspective, most cars can't even get to 155 miles an hour.
No, not at all. And what do you think? What do you think causes this at this point?
It's gotta be the adrenaline rush, or attention grabbing. I don't know. I'm at a loss. I don't understand that level of stupid.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it brings up a whole different category of person. Because like when we were living in Hawaii, we had a tsunami warning. And for those that don't know, tsunami is also referred to as a tidal wave. It is a giant wave that causes massive amounts of damage. And you know when they're coming because like the water will recede way further than it normally does. Like instead of having 20 feet of beach, you're gonna have like a half mile of beach. And that water comes rushing in all at one time in a giant wall. And it's really super dangerous. So I'm working as a security guard at a power plant near the water. So unfortunately, I was considered essential personnel and had to be at work.
I liked a little throat clear after you mentioned how you were essential personnel, by the way.
Right. And so I'm at work and I get to watch a little bit of the news, and there's these jackasses on the beach during a tsunami warning. Like, you're supposed to be a
hanging
half
out.
mile away from anything near water.
It's just amazing. Yeah, it's amazing how we will just toss aside perspective for
I,
certain things.
I mean, you've seen the video of what a tsunami did in Japan.
It awful, devastating.
I mean, and this is a
Dev-
tsunami warning. We were not guaranteed any kind of a massive wave or anything like that.
yeah, but do you really want to push it?
No, never. But then again, there's people who jump out of airplanes, and I still haven't figured out a good enough reason to jump out of a perfectly
Oh, not
plane.
at all. Or have you seen those where they'll take a picture hanging off the side of the building?
Oh yeah,
Instagram or whatever, and then every once in a while someone will die and will be, oh
yeah.
my god, I can't believe it's like, yeah, I can kind of believe
No,
it.
no, I can totally believe your dumbass was hanging off of the 30th floor.
Yeah, and that to me is one of those things where I will never connect to that person, the one who has to put himself in utter danger on purpose in order to feel.
Like, you can bungee jump off the stratosphere here in town.
Yeah, yeah.
Not gonna do
Not gonna do it. Like, I'm sorry that you can't get a boner unless you jump off the stratosphere, but
it.
I'm going to. I would just much rather watch this movie. Like, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
maybe if I was Tom Cruise and I had the power of Scientology behind me, maybe I could. I don't think that was with me on that.
Wow. So yeah, that's our insanity from Florida. Dude headbanging in 150 plus mile an hour wind.
I honestly, I mean, in terms of the crazy Florida people, I think that I would get along with this person. I mean, they're probably cool. They're probably like Sean Penn in Fast Times.
Probably a really fun person to hang out with.
Yeah, they're probably
Probably not the safest person to hang out with.
no, and that's you need that to be like your buffer friend to do all the dumb shit that you're not.
Right, right.
You
And
actually
hope
wanna
that
hire
hope that you're smart enough to not be there when you get arrested.
Yeah, yeah. You have to get arrested by proxy, and
So crazy news does not stop there.
where are we off to now?
We're off to Australia.
Ah,
Now, I'm going to phrase this in such a way that it's going to have to be explained. Somebody got pecked to death by a cock.
wow, that's impressive.
So, a
impressive.
76-year-old lady,
6 inches of blood.
right? A
76-year-old lady.
76-year-old lady is out collecting eggs from her chickens.
Ah, we're dealing with chickens.
And an aggravated rooster pecked at her legs and nicked a varicose vein, and she bled out.
Wow,
Death by cock.
wow. That and to be honest with you, in the afterlife, do you think that she's bragging about this?
I would.
Because look, most of the 76-year-olds are going to be like, well, I died of heart disease, and
Dude, I would straight up tell people, it's like, you know what? If I die under these circumstances, I'm a straight guy, and I would want my tombstone to read,
died by cock.
"Died by a cock."
Yeah, and that's unbelievable. That it would hit the vein. Are we going to war with them? Are they angry? Because it does
Well,
seem like the lobbies don't really seem to get behind chicken.
my mom grew up on a farm, and she told me that roosters and chickens, they can be pretty mean.
Mm,
They can be really mean. And odd bit of trivia. Did you know that a goose's wing is strong enough to break your femur?
I've never had a chance to figure it out, but I'm not going to test it anymore.
Right. If you see a goose that's pissed off and chasing after you, run.
Run. I was going to do that anyway, but now I'll definitely do it.
Right. So yeah, there's that.
So, but next time I see a bunch of chickens, I'm going in.
So now we've got a high speed headbanger and death by cock.
That's yeah. How do they know where the veins are? It's just
And I don't think it was intentional. I think the chicken the rooster
it's
just
definitely intentional. Definitely.
at her, and the article said that it happened to hit a varicose vein.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, it was just this horrible luck that's what happened.
And I feel like Australia, from everything I hear about it, just seems designed to murder.
Dude, I as much as I love Australians, I'm scared to visit your country.
Yeah, yeah. And do we fear your country irrationally? If we have any Australians in the audience, do we fear it irrationally, or like do we love you? Do you get your sense of humor because you know death is imminent and there's no point in taking life
Dude, I
seriously?
mean, they got birds that dive bomb you.
Yeah, yeah,
They've got like 5 of the most poisonous spiders and snakes in the world.
yeah,
They've got like everything's trying to kill them.
yeah. Because our chickens are all at Costco, spinning around on a skewer, as far
Oh,
as I can tell.
and here's another one. So, with my
Or
restrictive
Popeyes.
diet and everything, I buy a lot of chicken.
Yeah,
And I like to go to the meat counter because you can get the chicken individually wrapped and everything like that. How big are these damn chickens anymore? Because I'm getting a chicken breast, and one breast is like, I get 2 meals out of one chicken breast.
I think it's like Jurassic Park at this point, where they're just breeding them. It's like the mother chicken.
Seriously, I mean, that's got to be like a 50-pound fucking chicken.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean,
Flipping out the damn shit. It's unbelievable.
and like one chicken breast is almost 2 pounds by itself.
Yeah. And it's funny, like that we always say no nitrates, no antibiotics, like that. That's part of. I almost feel like we should pump them with more and see how big they can get. You just make them like Ivan Drago.
Well, and part of it though is selective breeding. I know that. Like you
Yeah.
find the chickens that are the largest, and then you breed them with chickens that are the largest. You keep breeding for that one
My
particular.
petite is in on big chickens as well.
And I mean that's how we get. Like if you look at some of the pigs on pig farms, they are ginormous.
Yeah.
Because they are intentionally breeding for the size.
Yeah.
75, 100 years ago, the pigs were like a quarter of what they are now. Still tasty. Gotta love bacon. But they were nowhere near as big. Now they're just bargain huge. But anyway, how to get on pig size?
The slop that we feed them.
I'm trying to follow that tangent. Oh, death by cock. Chicken breast. Okay, there we go. Uh,
So it did maybe Mock Petite could strangle you so that you've been strangled by a pussy, and then you would have hit all of the major forms of death that would be present.
right. All the major forms of death that would sound bad.
That would sound bad. That would sound
Yeah.
bad. And I think I would still take the death of a dog. I feel like that would sound good on a tombstone. And really, I don't ask for much out of life, but if I could have a funny tombstone,
He died choking on a pussy.
yeah, and that's actually what will be my biggest regret, that I wasn't around to write. I won't. You'd be like, do you want to spend time with your family? Not really. I mean, I love them, but do I need to spend more time with them? Probably not. I'll wish that I had spent more time coming up with bad puns and
So,
planning my death.
so we are coming up on the end of our podcast here. We only got about 15 minutes or so because we like to keep it in about an hour.
Yeah.
And so we do have to touch on the fact that I did some homework.
Yes, you did.
I actually sat down and watched Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Which I sat back and rewatched, and I was curious as to how I would approach it from this lens.
I mean, I think the one thing I would take away from that particular movie though is I very much identify with it.
Mm,
Um,
what do you mean by that?
like that was me in high school. I
Yes.
knew Spicoli or whatever the
Spicoli.
surfer dude.
Yeah,
I knew a dude that was that.
yeah,
I knew the super popular jock that everybody would talk to and get stuff from.
yeah,
I knew the one guy that was kind of the slimy car salesman that could get the tickets to everything.
yeah,
You know, I was that 15-year-old kid trying to figure out sex for the first time.
yeah,
And so I get, like, I can understand why that movie was popular because anybody that's our age or maybe a little bit even older, that was
lived that existence.
that was our high school experience.
And I actually saw, upon rewatching it, I saw a lot of correlations to my favorite high school movie, Superbad.
You know, I couldn't get into that one. I tried.
That for me kind of was what Fast Times is, or it gave me that same feeling that Fast Times does for you.
Okay, so Superbad was your high school because you're technically
I'm
young enough
13.
to be my kid,
Yeah,
but so Fast Times for me was what Superbad was for you.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I saw Fast Times after that, and then I came back to it now, and I gotta be honest with you, that's a great fucking movie. It's a great fucking movie. It for what it is, and it maybe I'm watching it through the lens of, I just don't see what would be made like that in 2019. I don't see a movie being made like that where a girl practices a blowjob on a carrot in the
No,
cafeteria and everybody cheers.
I don't think they could make a movie like that, but
People act like that. That's how you act.
and that's the issue is that I think even today, 15-year-old kids, this is no different.
Yeah,
They're acting like this, and the thing that could be taken away from it is that people's lack of knowledge is what leads to things like what happened in this movie where, oh, you can't get pregnant on your first time,
Yeah.
but you did.
But you did. Exactly. Exactly. And when you really think about it, nowadays the kids will be exposed to they'll be exposed to stuff that their parents won't even dream of them being exposed to because of the
Right.
availability of internet porn and Google, like all sorts of the medium. I feel
They
like
know all the mechanics, but they know all the mechanics, but they don't realize that the
how
consequences.
many.
And
Yeah.
nobody teaches them the consequences.
Yep.
So,
There's nobody to give them the breakdown.
yeah, like with me, when I was like 12, 13, 14 years old, my mom realized that I was starting to get interested in girls.
Yep.
So they got me a book that broke down what STDs were and how they affected the body and what
Mm.
they did.
And that I would imagine that stuck with you because if I saw gonorrhea,
So,
I
dude,
don't think I would recover.
to quote a rapper that's too old for you to remember, don't leave home without it. That would be the Candyman, ladies and gentlemen.
I do not know the Candyman.
Oh, look it up. The Candyman, don't leave home without it. The whole thing is
Just
talking about a
mix it with
condom.
love and make the world taste good.
Oh yeah, it's a great track, and he's talking about a condom. He goes through and he's like, and don't leave home without it because, ladies, it might be something you got, and guys, it might be something you got. And for the entertainment of the crowd, that was my cat just deciding to have zoomies.
She doesn't want to leave home without it.
Exactly. But I don't regret having actually taken the time to watch Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I'll probably watch it again. I bought it.
There really some great. Sean Penn is spectacular in that movie. Forrest Whitaker is not annoying. Nicolas Cage is amusing. Just to see Nicolas Cage existing.
Right. And above and beyond that, I didn't have to feel guilty because the character might have been 15, but I know the actress was 18 or above, and those were some nice titties.
And Phoebe Cates is eternal. A lot of the girls, and I hate to say this, but a lot of the girls in the 80s movies, a lot of the bombshells, like they just don't translate throughout time. Phoebe Cates translates 100%.
Right. Because a lot of the ones in the 80s had like that. It was the high fashion model.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted people that were damn near anorexic.
Yeah.
That was hot.
Yeah.
And it was never hot to me.
Never hot. No. But Phoebe Cates, that's the girl you have a crush on in high school.
Yeah.
She would hit on you and you would panic and then some douche. It's all in play. It's all in play.
And I totally get that panic. I mean, when you see that one girl that you think is very attractive, and then you're like, okay, I'll go talk to her, and then you get right up to her, and then every word in your vocabulary just suddenly disappears.
And it's so funny how that happens. I don't know what it is about us as a species, but we just can't.
Right. And
if only we were alphas, Greg. If only we were alphas.
Yeah, right. Because
we need some must. We need some must. Then we'd be in.
I mean, and I have known true alphas. These guys, they never even spoke. They never talked about being alphas. And like, I know one guy, and we'll have to bring this up in another episode too, because the stories on this guy. But I mean, like I've known one guy. This is actually before I knew Brandy, so I can talk all about this one. He was so suave that I swear to you, he actually walked up to a chick and said, "Nice shoes, wanna fuck?" And she did.
And she did. There we go.
How do you get away with that? How is it even possible to get away with that? If I said nice shoes, wanna fuck, I'd have my skin slapped off my face.
Yeah.
How?
Now, if you came up, if he was like, hey, nice shoes, you want to hang out with an alpha? She'd be like, are you watching fucking Planet Earth or something? Like, what are you doing? It just,
Right. And we I've seen several guys that like our next. We have a neighbor
yeah,
that even if you saw him,
yeah,
there is a certain level of attractiveness
yeah,
that even straight guys
yeah.
have to look at and go, "That's
That
a good man."
that sort of, yeah. Your charisma and your just kind of,
The perfect physique,
yeah,
square jaw,
yeah,
the direct look,
yeah,
the and then when they speak, they're intelligent. It's
yeah,
like, dude, if you walked into a bar right now and said I'm horny, every woman in the room would be, I'll volunteer.
yeah, yeah.
If I walked into that very same room and said I'm horny, it would probably be the largest round of laughter I've ever heard in my life.
They might bring you in.
Right. You know, I might get hired just to make people laugh at me being stupid.
They might bring
So,
you. One before we get too far off the Fast Times thing, I do special shout out to whoever that was who played Mr. And I could look that up, but it really doesn't matter because he's Mr. Hand to me. And that character, they always do the hard ass, but this was a hard ass that I was actually fully rooting for at the same time that he was being a dick to every man.
right. And what it turned out though is that when he went and saw the Stone Surfer dude,
Yeah,
he was actually being a really good teacher.
yeah,
Like going way above and beyond the needs, but to make sure that this kid didn't have to get held back.
yeah. Trying to instill the values.
Yeah.
I
So
love the car bit. How like, how are you gonna get out of this? And then he's gonna kill me.
that is yeah.
Like, is he gonna shit or he's gonna kill us? What is it?
But anyways, we are hitting up on about an hour now, and it's getting pretty late. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are probably going to call this to a close. It's been we are one squirrel short of a full tangent,
Yep.
and
But
she's
I
this.
think we give you proper levels of tangent today.
I think so.
I
And in 2 weeks, we shall see you again. Again, if you want to find us, you can find us on iTunes or Spotify. Recommend us to our friends if you find us entertaining or just want to annoy somebody.
yeah.
Um, if you really like us, give us a shout out on
If you would like us to annoy somebody for you, if somebody does something annoying and you want us to rant about it so that you can play it for them, we'll do it.
Send us a name and tell us what happened. We'll
Yeah,
be happy to talk about it. We love talking about stupid humans.
Judge, we will all about it.
But so again, if you do want to give us some support, again, totally not required, but we do have a Patreon page, and we would love to hear from you and love to have your support. It would go towards making our podcast a better thing.
And tell us what sort of stuff you want on said Patreon as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that podcast, that Patreon page is www.patreon.com/thesquirreltangent. And of course, you can search for us on Facebook under The Squirrel Tangent, and we have a presence there as well.
And the next time you see a Phoebe Cates in your social circle, ask her about it. She's probably listening. You guys can bond. So she's probably the Patreon. She'll be the second Patreon donor, and it'll be great.
Okay, and one last time, aloha. Thank you guys for listening to The Squirrel Tangent.